Hey everyone, my name is Roger Morales and this is my project for ENG4121. And the genre I chose for my project is Italian neorealism, and specifically the contribution of Roberto Rossellini's war trilogy to the movement. His trilogy includes the films Rome Open City, Paisan, and Germany Year Zero, all of which premiered between 1945 and 1948. Now, Italian neorealism was a sort of reactionary phenomenon to the political propaganda characteristic of Mussolini's regime and Telefoni Bianchi films of the 1930s, such as 1934's La Signora di Tutti. These films were heavily criticized as being melodramatic and often dealt with upper-class problems, were overly romanticized, and had little to do with working-class struggles at the time. Following the Italian Spring of 1945, after Mussolini's execution, Italian cinema shifted to a realistic aesthetic, and in Rossellini's Rome Open City, he opted for non-professional actors, aside from Anna Magnani and Aldo Fabrizi, who played Pina and Don Pietro.
Ah, eccolo finalmente.
Buonasera, Don Pietro.
Buonasera, Pina. Buonasera.
And chose to shoot the film mostly in the streets and in various buildings around war-torn Rome.
Eccoci arrivati.
Grazie, Don.
Ordinary light bulbs and natural lighting whenever possible. These limitations were mostly due to the fact that this is what Rossellini had to work with since Rome was in ruins, but they added to the realism that the film is most known for. The beginning of the film is characterized by the relationships among the various characters within the family and how they continue to live their lives in spite of the looming Nazi threat.
Tutti si illudevano che sarebbe finita presto e che l'avremmo vista soltanto al cinematografo. E invece...
Ma quando finirà? Ci sono dei momenti che non ne posso proprio più. St'inverno sembra che non debba finire mai.
Finirà, Pina, finirà. E tornerà pure la primavera. E sarà più bella delle altre, perché saremo liberi.
However, following the famous scene of Pina getting shot while chasing the truck taking away her fiancé, the film takes a drastic turn, and its newsreel style and relentless narrative mirrors the harsh realities of the Nazi occupation.
Francesco! Francesco! Francesco!
In Rossellini's next film, Paisan, which premiered in 1946, he shoots 6 unrelated episodes that make up the film. However, all are events taking place during the Allied invasion of Italy, and their settings stretch across the entirety of the Italian landscape. Narrative and general ambiguity as far as the timeline of the narrative can be noted as an early instance of discontinuity editing as a stylistic choice, which became the embodiment of the French New Wave later on, another movement famous for its detachment from cinematic norms. Rossellini built on the success of Rome Open City for its studio-less realistic approach, and in Paisan we see scenes such as this one here from the final episode of the film, where a baby is seen crying next to its dead parents, all the while the sun is breaking through the horizon to begin a new day. The cry of the baby, the fact that the day is beginning, and the death of the baby's parents are clearly symbolic representations for the beginning of a new era, in Italy and the world abroad. The scene is hailed by some critics as the height of Italian neorealism. In the final film of the trilogy, Germany Year Zero, Rossellini again uses his documentary-like filmmaking to capture an interesting perspective through the film's main character Edmund, a child living in Berlin immediately following the end of the war. Although Rossellini did film the interior scenes in Rome, he used Berlin as the set of all the outdoor scenes and non-professional actors for all the roles. In this film, Rossellini tells the story of an innocent child who becomes convinced by an ex-Nazi to dismiss his father as an extra mouth to feed and extra baggage for his sister and brother. Analysts of the film have said that in Germany Year Zero, Rossellini perfected the style of Italian neorealism due to the candidness regarding the power that an ideological state apparatus, even one that has toppled as in Nazi Germany, can have over individuals, particularly those as vulnerable as a child. Overcome with guilt after murdering his father, Edmund commits suicide, and the film ends with no happy ending, as is characteristic of Rossellini. With these accurate and relentless portrayals of everyday occurrences during the war, the various interactions between individuals and oppressive state governments, and the rigid anti-fascist moral position apparent in these films, trilogy marks the beginning of a new set of values where an accurate depiction of reality was favored over the highly embellished productions of Hollywood.